I was told that I only got 10 minutes, and initially I had about 50 slides. And then they said, "Oh, Tina, you must be mad. You can't go and talk with 50 slides." So I managed to reduce it down to about 20. As I just told you, we were colleagues, and um, we are a small community, but we have loads of concepts, and we are very wordy. So I thought to myself, I needed to script this so that I could then quickly run you through about 25 slides. Huiskombuis in the Senses of Memory, Textile and Craft Design project was launched in 2006. Huiskombuis, as you know, it's an Afrikaans word, and literally translated into English means home kitchen. This was the working theme and common departure point that looked at traditional District 6 recipes and its associations, as its associations with sensory rituals around making of food and home-based industries. Its intention was to show how essential memory methodological practices in the museum further developed craft design. I don't know how many of you have been in the District 6 Museum, but anyway, the District 6 Museum. Here's two views of the interior of the museum, the front and the back. And central to the exhibition spaces are the maps, the map of District 6. And this was done in 1994 when the museum opened. And to understand the Huiskombuis project is really embedded in the deeper context of the museum's memory work. The museum opened its doors in 1994, and its main mission is to work with the memories, histories, and traumas of those who were forcibly removed, and also to look at look broadly at the extent of the history of Cape Town, the city. Just to give you a sense of the exhibition framework, it's organized to facilitate and encourage ongoing recording and documentation and recovery of memory. So storytelling is really central to this process. It's about the intangible. We work a lot with the intangible because the museum didn't start from the premises of having objects. So we almost had to create those objects out of stories. And these then get to be interpreted, and they're generated into new meanings and what we call knowledge production. And here's some close-ups of some of the work that we do, and we refer to the museum as a canvas. A huge canvas, a kind of visually tactile and textural surface, in a way to evoke emotions and senses of touch and feel. And it's really about finding the balance between the handmade and the kind of mechanical processes that go with the production of making exhibitions. And we find that this is always a challenge to us. Therefore, we place a lot of importance on the collective, the multi-layering of voices, which is often narrated through various interdisciplinary and creative platforms. For example, here you can see we work very closely with ex-resident stories. So here we created the interior of a room, Nomvuyo's room, and this is a kitchen area. And she was very closely related to the whole recreation of that interior. And similarly, so we worked with other artists who has produced various art pieces in the museum. We worked with I don't know, Peggy Dalport, who's also a Board of Trustee member and artist, and she did a huge fresco mural relating to all the various narratives that she had taken down in the past 14 years. And also then there's, we interpret various fragments of archaeology in different forms, and there's a mosaic that we've done. There are various areas in the exhibition framework that act as repositories for memory, and here we have an ex-resident who's inscribing a family name and address on the floor and map of the museum, and this symbolically serves to locate ex-residents in District 6 homes, as well as create a sense of ownership and identity. In the same way, the memory cloth is another powerful space that testifies to the collective moment of loss and grief. The inscriptions speak to each other, and a wonderful intertextual conversation can be read on the cloth as people fill in messages on the cloth. We used embroidery here to enhance the surface and develop it into a product. This is very fascinating because in 2000 we installed a new exhibition there called Digging Deeper, and the embroidery banner applique project was introduced into the display to sort of advance sort of more ambitious craft projects, detailing sort of pictorial images of sporting organizations, political organizations, and different religious institutions. And in a manner of speaking, the Huiskombuis project really sort of draws on this um, embroidery banner applique project. Gee whiz. As a way of introduction, we launched the Huiskombuis project with we just threw a big tea party and to recruit members. And elements of District 6, like Nova Street, you can see there, were reimagined and recreated to stimulate the performance of memory. Participants between the ages of 80 and 50 were recruited. Many of them growing up as young adults in District 6, and we really wanted to explore what influenced and shaped their identities and attitudes towards design, particularly as they were coming from a post-Second World War period, the sort of 1940s and through to the 50s, and then into the late sort of 60s around forced removal. So we really wanted to explore that time period. Ex-residents, we immerse them in the sensory moments of sound, textures, and tastes and aromas, and triggered by smells of cinnamon and cardamom and curry powder and sweet tastes of spiced. Sisters spoke to like these traditional recipes and ingredients. Many ex-residents could relive their family recipes through referencing these kitchen objects on display.